be awesome. Alright, let's see what we're up against here. We got Charizard with Whimsicott, Incineroar, Fluttermane, Landorus, and Rillaboom. So this is interesting. Definitely seems... yeah, 582. I know, crazy, right? On the normal ladder, not even online competition. This seems very Sun-oriented with Tailwind support. I don't have to worry about... Taunt as much from Whimsicott, but I do need to, I should be mindful of, like, hey, maybe Fluttermane carries Taunt these days, right? And Fake Out I can as well. I feel like setting up Trick Room is definitely going to be helpful. I do like Farigiraf for that. I think I can get away with Farigiraf or Incineroar. Having Primarina in the back could be helpful for the resistances. The main problem with Primarina, though, is that I got to contend with both Whimsicott and Rillaboom. But Rillaboom doesn't really help out either, right? So it's like, yeah, I might resist those two, but then the others hit me really hard too. So I'm down for a Primarina Incineroar lead with Ursaluna and Primarina in the back. Incineroar Primarina, yeah, here we come, number one. Incineroar Primarina, the Alolan friends, they work really well together for sure. But I think the couple things I need to be mindful of, Whimsicott could have Trick Room. And Fluttermane has Taunt as well, that can be problematic. But let's see what happens as we go into this battle. So we are going to get Whimsicott Charizard versus Farigiraf Incineroar. I don't mind Charizard as much. I kind of want to go Fake Out Charizard because the likelihood is that Whimsicott has Covert Cloak. So I'm going to go ahead and set up Trick Room here. And I'm going to go ahead and use Fake Out into Charizard. Okay, Charizard switches, which is totally fine by me, into their own Incineroar, which is also fine by me. Next turn, I'm just going to use, like, Parting Shot or something. I'll Fake Out. Whimsicott uses Moonblast, but it's not even close to KOing Farigiraf. And then Farigiraf sets up Trick Room. So, I think we're in a solid spot here. Incineroar can't use Fake Out. So I think here I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Dazzling Gleam just to break any focus sashes. And I'm going to go ahead and Parting Shot into their own Incineroar. Okay, so I am faster than their Incineroar, so I need to be mindful of that. Would Whimsicott target my Incineroar? It might. Incineroar might target me. So I think Primarina would be a good switch in here. But if they go after Farigiraf, that's even better. I don't mind the double up. So we're going to go hit a Dazzling Gleam that breaks any sashes on... Perfect, yes. We love to see it. Go ahead. Farigiraf has done its job. You take damage from the Rocky Helmet. And Moonblast as well. Perfect. We love to see it. Fine by me. Alright, this next turn is going to be interesting. I could go ahead and just immediately bring in Blood Moon and start rampaging with Hyper Voice slash double Hyper Voice. Or I can bring in Incineroar to have Fake Out. I don't mind pushing the tempo a little bit here. So I'm going to Hyper Voice here. And I'm going to Hyper Voice again. This will force the opponent to kind of pick a Terra. Terra Whimsicott doesn't help you out, because then my normal Hyper Voice against Primarina does a good amount of damage there. Incineroar switches out into Rillaboom. Okay, that's probably a good and as good of a counter you can have there. And then you set up Sunny Day, sure. Cool. So, Whimsicott's out. And I think this turn, I'm just going to go ahead and, I feel comfortable hitting the double protect, honestly. Okay. Incineroar comes out. Let me take a look at how many turns of Trick Room I got left, and then that might determine how I'm going to play this. I got 2 turns of Trick Room left. So I think in that case, I'm going to go ahead and Ghost Terra, Blood Moon into Rillaboom, and I'll go ahead and protect Primarina. Rillaboom will either have to Grassy Glide or use Wood Hammer or Fake Out, and Incineroar will also want to use Fake Out on Blood Moon. But if I Ghost Terra, then I don't have to worry about that. And then the following turn, I can just bring Incineroar back out. Or, yeah, bring Incineroar against Charizard, and I can just Hyper Voice afterwards. Cool, perfect. One thing to note, the opponent hasn't committed their Terra yet, so I just want to be mindful of that when we get to that stage of the game. But if I can get a pretty big KO on Rillaboom now, that's going to be huge. And I think that really will cement us, putting us in the lead here. So Primarina protects. Probably going to expect like a Fake Out coming somewhere. Yep. And then Rillaboom might Grassy Glide into Blood Moon. Oh no, it was going to probably go for Wood Hammer. It's not enough for a KO, but Rillaboom probably is going to be doing a lot of damage to itself. Yep, that might, that's not enough either. Dang, okay. As much as it hurts, I don't mind giving up the attack boost. I'll go for Hyper Voice, and I'll bring out my own Incineroar to get the Fake Out pressure again. And that means also if Rillaboom decides to use Grassy Glide on Primarina, won't do that much damage here. This is the last turn of Trick Room, so I definitely can see them being like, alright, how do I position myself to make sure I can maintain momentum? Yeah, and this also just helps me be able to take any of Rillaboom's attacks. If it decides to go for Grassy Glide, yep. Perfect. Rillaboom is knocked out, and then Incineroar is probably going to go for Flare Blitz into Blood Moon, right? So I'm probably going to lose Blood Moon, but Blood Moon's pretty much done its job. Oh, it goes knockoff. That's interesting. That actually activates my own weakness policy. Here's the interesting thing is, Trick Room ends now. Yeah. So, one of the challenges is that now Charizard comes back out. I got 2 more turns of Sun and 2 more turns of Grassy Terrain. This is tough. Because it feels obvious you don't want to target down Ursaluna with Incineroar, right? If you don't, then I definitely want to fire off a Earth Power into their own Incineroar. Well, I would like to Blood Moon into their Charizard to get it out of the way. And I will Fake Out Charizard too. Yeah, if I was Incineroar, I'm going to hit, yeah, Blood Moon. I couldn't think of a way around it other than switching out Blood Moon. Okay. But one thing I do like about this position is that I am very healthy with all of my Pokemon. And they are too, but we got 1 more turn of Sun and 1 turn of Grassy Terrain. I definitely want to protect here. And I feel like... Darkest Lariat into Charizard feels pretty comfy. Yeah. I was kind of worried about, like, I would have to eat, like, a Terra or something. Incineroar Terras, which is fine. That means that my Flare Blitz next turn will actually do a lot more damage, which is great. I love to see it. But yeah, Charizard, clicking the Solo Beam button feels very possible. Oh wow, it actually has a Focus Blast. And it goes for a knockoff, which isn't great. I lose my Citrus Berry. But it's good to know that Incineroar actually outspeeds. Sun's over, so Charizard's damage output isn't as strong, which will be helpful. And Grassy Train disappears as well. So in this case, I definitely feel confident firing off a Hyper Voice, and I'm going to Flare Blitz into their own Incineroar. Yeah, I don't regret protecting. I survive, which is all I need. Ooh, special defense dropping isn't great. And I have to eat up this Flare Blitz as well. It's not enough, which is good. The main thing here is that Primarina gets off her attack, meaning I'm going to go ahead... I get off my attack first. Perfect. Primarina should be able to clean up at that range. And Incineroar can't get 2 KOs anyways. Perfect. Let's go! Perfect! Yeah. I don't regret protecting Primarina, because... Again, with Sun, Grassy Train, like, that would be a very free Solar Beam. And I didn't want to lose it from that. Focus Blast missing was kind of big for my opponent, I'll have to say. So, unfortunate for that. It's one of the problems with running it. But, whew, that was a good battle. Very close. Yeah, this team is honestly really fun.